Hello guys and welcome to my channel. I remain your host, the Blind Justice Chuku. Today we will discuss a very important topic. Yes, it is important because I have received numerous questions around it, and I think it's important for me to discuss that. What is that topic? Okay, so in my last videos, I talked about ba and I mentioned that ba is a very sweet adventure, right? So people reached out to me wanting to know what exactly is ba. And surprisingly, guys, they want to know if a blind person can or should or does experience that adventurous ba. So just sit down. I have a lot to unpack in this video, but please, before we proceed, if this is your first time of seeing my video, kindly click the subscribe button. Okay, watch my previous videos, like this video and share. Let's get the ball rolling. Okay, now with a little ado, okay, I want to say a big shout out to Today. Today is an amazing young man who has just turned 40 years. Happy birthday, happy achieved birthday, a birthday full of achievements, full of blessings. Today is an inspiration to me and I celebrate him personally. Today, wherever you are, just know that the Blind Justice Chuku celebrates you. You have inspired me. Each time I listen for your interview, I see your questions coming from a deep heart, from a heart loaded with lived and professional experiences. And I am not surprised watching your interview with Adiola Fayun, where you came out. Oh yes, when I mean came out, really came out. Okay, so for those who have a spoiled heart, please, that's not that. I'm not referring to that kind of coming out. Okay, I'm referring to something very critical that people, especially in Africa, do not pay attention to, and that is mental health. Jude has or had a chronic depression and he survived it. For those who have not watched his video, please check Adiola Fayun and Chude. You will definitely be inspired how Chude had survived depression and has been thriving. Chude, I love my heart for you. And guys, listen, we can talk about depression and mental health. If you guys like me to talk about it, just let me know, because I am a blind person. I live in the US, I am in Nigeria, so I have some balanced experience, both professional and lived experience. I am not a mental health therapist, but we can navigate mental health issues together. Okay, anyway, so let's go back to the main topic of today. Okay, and whether a blind person should, can, or does experience that adventurous. Okay, what is ba?
Wait a minute.
Ba
Who are you?
is the sound that comes out when you and your darling are in the other room. It is a sound that comes out when you and your darling are having cool time, great time, wonderful time in the other room. Okay, and that other room has to be either dark or have a dim light. Okay, because the dark nature of that other room puts you and your partners in the right mood. Okay, so what is the sound and what activities, play out before the sound is heard. Okay. I believe I'm talking to adults, but for those who might think that I'm afraid to say what that is, it is FK. Okay. You know what I mean? Okay. So it is sex. Okay. So the sound that comes out when you and your darling are having wonderful sex, wonderful sexual activity in the other room, in the inner sanctuary, when no one is there to interfere or to disrupt or to whatever, to distract you. It is a moment designated only for you and your partner. That moment brings or produces that sound, and comes in different tones. Okay, it could be tenor, it could be bass, it could be treble, it could be alto, it could be any part, part of any tone, as the case may be, right? Yeah. Sometimes it could be tenor versus tenor, sometimes it could be bass versus bass, you know what I mean? I believe I'm talking to adults in the room. Okay, now the next question is, does a blind person or can or should a blind person experience If so, how? I have received this question, and for me, I felt a little bit disappointed by hearing this question for the first time. But because I know that not everybody knows what I know, not everybody should know what I know, I felt it is important to let you guys know that a blind person is one of the best, the most skillful person in the other room. Okay. Yes, I am not bragging because I know what I carry down there, but let's not talk about it because I don't want my babe to get upset, right? But don't you ever think that a blind person, because they are blind, they cannot do?
No, God, please,
you are deceiving yourself, okay?
No!
For those who might be frolicking, in the presence of a blind person, and the person might think, oh, this guy is blind, he cannot see. Oh, you don't need your eyes to see what is good, okay? You don't need your eyes to see what can make you produce that sound. You don't need your eyes at all. Trust me on that. I am a living witness, okay? I have that experience, not to brag, but anyway, but the point is this: a blind person can produce it in a very high, like unimaginary degree. Oh yes, I have some special styles that only me and my babe would enjoy, okay? But, what I'm saying, honestly, is that you don't undermine a blind person because they are blind. Oh, they can see you. Hey, don't you ever think that a blind person cannot see because the cannot see or cannot hear or does not know the right person to do the with? If you want to try, just give it a try. Just give it a shot. Anyway, if you see any blind person, give it a shot, okay? Anyway, so I'm not advertising anybody. I'm not saying that blind persons are spoiled or they are whores. But what I'm saying is that you should not think that we are not in touch with the realities on ground, that we are not in touch with our society, with our immediate environment. If there is anything, let me tell you, we gain control of our environment first before any other person. Trust me on that. We get the cues, okay? We know when somebody is smiling at us and wants to do we know. But sometimes we pretend as if we don't know. Oh yes. I'm gonna share with you guys some stories, but not in this video, about my experience with someone who was in my presence, and the person doesn't know that I know. So let's keep that story one side. If you want me to share that story with you, let me know in the comment section, okay? Now, the point I'm trying to make is that this of a thing has some process. You have to undergo some processes with your darling before you produce the best Oh yes, you have to be in the mood. Yeah, you have to learn the song that your darling loves to listen to, and you need to sing the song to your darling in the other room. In fact, the best time to start preparing for the night is in the morning. When you wake up in the morning, you start preparing, clearing the ground, making ways so that you have access to the floodgate of heaven at night. Oh yes. So if you don't know how to do it, let me know, and a blind person will teach you in a very simple way, how to prepare, how to put yourself and your darling in the right mood for the night. Okay. Is a very sweet adventure. When you hear it goes to show that something has been taking place. Oh yes, it means that, yes. But let me tell you, the first time you get into that room, should not be the first thing. You need to take time. For me, I would recommend spending over 30 minutes without with your darling in that room. Turn off your phone. Put yourself in the right. You need to respect that moment. You need to respect it. No quickie. Because quickie, there are times for quickie anyway, but if you really want to enjoy that, if you want to hear that, you need to do some things. Anyway, I'm not spoiling anybody. For those who are watching me, if you're in your office and you're watching me, you're on your own. No say that me spoiled you. I'm not trying to provoke any orgasm somewhere. That's why I'm using very mild, language and words to explain what I mean. But what means that sound, that sound that people hear when they're having having sex. Okay, that's it. Anyway, but please make sure that you're licensed or you are guarded when doing the okay. Make sure that you are qualified. You need to be qualified. Yes. I know that you asked me what kind of qualification. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about that now, but you need to be ready. You need to be guarded. Okay? Yes. And you need to be ready and responsible, for any outcome. You need to be ready, because if anything gets in there, for even if it's Mr. A versus a Mr. or something like that, you still need to be very careful. So you need to be very, very responsible, respectful of your darling. Okay. Anyway, I think I'm talking too much right now. I need to stop, but just know that is not reserved for. It's not exclusively reserved for people who have their eyes. In fact, if anything, the blind person can do it much, much better. You know why? We are used to not having the lights. We are used to being in a dimmed environment. Okay, so when we get to the other room, we can locate the right spots, the right things. We can press the right buttons very quickly, and things begin to happen. Just this. just is to be careful. Careful. Anyway, guys. So please don't undermine blind dates. So don't undermine them. Don't undermine them. Don't. You will be disappointed. Anyway, this is the end of my video. Please like my video, subscribe, okay? Shoot your questions in the comment sections, okay? I remain your brother, friend, and host, the blind Justice Chuku. Bye.